my presentation is going to be on Kintsugi and kind of the idea of repurposing something and having it shine through kind of its past. And a little history, if you are, or maybe not familiar with Kintsugi, it's a Japanese art form that started in the 16th century. And the legend goes that this shogun, Ashikaga Yoshimasa, he received some porcelain from China that he loved and adored, and he was bringing it all around Japan, having a great time, and some of the pieces broke. So he sends it back to China, and he gets it back, and it's like all stapled together. And he really didn't like how, it was finished. So imagining kind of taking porcelain and sticking a big obtrusive staple into it. So he gives it to his guys, and he's like, you know what, you guys got to figure out what to do with this. I need a better bowl. I need my bowl fixed better. And the solution they come up with was Kintsugi. So they used lead gold and melted it together and kind of filled the cracks with gold. And since then, it's kind of grown into its own type of art form. And I'll talk a little bit about wabi-sabi and the kind of Buddhist ideal of finding beauty in imperfection, which is a pretty cool idea, and I thought it really tied in well with the idea of upcycling. These are a few examples of pieces that have been kind of manipulated and turned into an art form together. You'll see that sometimes they're broken on purpose and sometimes an accident. In my case, I did have one victim. This is the pig, and I actually got this 99 cents at the ARC store, or like the thrift shop, which kind of was perfect. I've wanted to try Kintsugi for a long time, and I looked it up, and I didn't have any pots, or I didn't have any like cups. I was thinking about a coffee cup or something, but I have too much attachment to break them. So this innocent victim, unfortunately, sacrificed itself for a greater being. And this was really the most challenging part of the project, was piecing it back together. And you gather an interesting perspective when you see the fragments and kind of how it all fits together. I used pretty basic. I had some epoxy, this E6000, pretty standard epoxy. It's actually food safe. Originally I wanted to do something more food safe, but this paint is definitely not food safe. Just used chopsticks and kind of gave like a mix of, I just blended the epoxy and the gold paint together and kind of made some kind of Frankenstein-esque piece. I think it turned out really well. It was definitely the first few pieces, I put it all together, and then I wanted to epoxy it all together, so that was kind of a process of like how to make sure that it would stay in one piece. And if you look at it closely, there are parts where it kind of like has misshapen slightly, or missing kind of broken pieces. But I also finished it up. I went back through with like a X-Acto knife or a razor blade, and tried to, like, you'll notice some of it's kind of pouring over, and just to give it a little bit cleaner of an edge. And yeah, I guess I kind of just wanted to address what my aesthetic really was, and a lot of what we've talked about in class and how we define beauty and how we define an aesthetic, a lot of it's based on these kind of truly like ancient Roman, ancient Greek ideals that things should be symmetric, or like what is beauty, how does it, what do we like to watch and see. And for me, I kind of wanted to think outside of something that I'm used to. So looking at, kind of trusting the process, and wabi-sabi is definitely a black hole of Wikipedia links. And it's really just a philosophy to find beauty in age and things that are kind of weathered or have had life and like how to appreciate that and kind of Kintsugi fit right in. So thank you very much for your attention. Any questions?
How did you break it?
I wanted a video of that.
Yeah, I know. I got a little, I was like, I really didn't take too many before shots, but I put it in a plastic bag, which is key. If you try to do this in the future, while I don't recommend breaking things for the purpose of breaking things, put it in a plastic bag before. It'll save you a lot of time.
Drop it or hammer it?
Dropped it. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, I dropped it. Yep.
I know you said you wanted to use maybe like coffee mugs. Is there anything else that you maybe could have just found around the house that you could have?
Yeah, so I have I use a V60 pour over for coffee. It's basically a ceramic pour over coffee. Like imagine like a cone with the tip cut off, and you put a coffee filter in your coffee, and you just pour the water right over for any of you who don't use it. And there's a chip in it, and that's where I got the original idea. Unfortunately, I didn't want to ruin like the whole thing. I didn't want to basically use like a bad paint that I wouldn't be able to pour coffee with. Yeah. So it's something to look at in the future. I definitely really like the look. And my V60 has a little chip, so I'd like to fix that, but I'm not willing to like never use it again. Good question. Thank you. Oh, one more.
I have a comment. I love the thought that's gone into investigating the process and the wabi-sabi idea of adding beauty through imperfection. But it's kind of cognitive dissonance for me, because you've taken this perfect kitschy, American thing, and then
I like that. That adds to it.
You've added this Japanese, very elegant, philosophical overlay to it.
Yeah.
That is just so postmodern.
That is cool.
We'll be
That
talking
is
more
cool.
about that later in the semester. That is all just totally postmodern.
It also is a piggy bank, shined with gold, and it's like,
so now you've added conceptual art to it as well.
That's funny.
Wow.
I know. The year of the pig. I mean, I could go all day. You guys, like, right here. Or,
Keep putting money in it and then break it again at some point, and then
that would be
put it back
cool.
together.
That's a great idea. Incorporate the money in, as I go. Like its nose could be a euro or something. You had a question?
I had kind of made the same
Connection
with the it's obviously something that is generally thought of as American.
Yeah.
The piggy bank, but it's using old Chinese techniques, but also it's probably made in China too.
Oh.
So you have a comparison between
That is crazy.
old Chinese traditions versus current industrial
Right.
mass production.
That is weird. Chinese
There's a hole
porcelain.
on the bottom. You weren't able to complete it.
Well, the hole is. I couldn't. It was obviously I didn't have the little plastic part that you get your money out. But I could make one.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, there's some missing parts, but these guys I could probably sew back together. It's a great idea. I really like it. And you break it every time. This could be we could make an industry out of it.
It's just 401k or retirement plan.
Yeah.
You keep having to break it.
Break it. That's a good point.
There's an artist you should look at to kind of piggyback on all that. His name is Jeff Koons.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, Ai Weiwei.